Welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Stores, and hanging out with me as always is
Rob Morphy.
Robert, what's happening? And of course,
I am the Chris.
What's up? Back in studio.
Oh, yeah.
Making it happen.
It's been a couple weeks.
It has
a couple
been.
weeks.
A little COVID protocols, but now we're back.
I mean, I caught full-blown COVID.
You did?
Yeah.
You had mad sniffles?
I had a crazy sniffle fit. My wife was decimated.
Yeah, she was.
I had to take care of the house, which, God bless her, is not an easy task. Because I was like, you guys are having ramen. And laundry ain't getting done.
No.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to do my laundry, but you got to learn how to do yours.
You buy kids enough clothes that they don't need fancy, fresh washed clothes every other day.
Throw them out.
Do it.
Yep.
It's literally all
they're garbage.
Literally all I did was cook and do laundry while my poor wife was struggling in bed. But regardless, we're back. We're doing it in studio here this week. I kind of got a chuckle when I saw this title. I think the listeners are going to get a little bit of a chuckle too.
Let's hope.
I don't know why, but it just makes you laugh a little bit. We're talking about busting in with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Busting in.
Yep. Not busting loose, even though Chris suggested it. And it really made me
It's just
happy.
funny. Yeah.
But the Bigfoot's not getting loose. They're literally coming in.
So we're talking the old B&E here.
The little B&E. The
Yep.
break-in
All right,
and the
man.
E.
All right, awesome. Well, let's get started with as terrifying as accounts of hunters and hikers running headlong into huge hairy hominoids in the wild may be. They pale before the rare reports of these bellicose beasts breaking into the supposed sanctuary we call home. So lock your doors and windows, put your back against your sturdiest wall, and hunker down as we explore some curious cases of Bigfoot home invaders.
Is nowhere safe.
Dude.
What is home? Is it safe?
Well, I mean, not when they got the bellicose breaking in, because I couldn't.
Bellicose.
I know.
In our pre-pod warm-up, I couldn't say bellicose. Well, I could say bellicose. I couldn't read bellicose.
That's fair.
The bellicoses.
The bellicose.
Oh, the villain in Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
it's you.
It's been a
Bloke.
while, and I apparently just couldn't figure out what bellicose was. Regardless, Bigfoot breaking and entering, Robert. I'm excited. Let's do this.
While the vast majority of Sasquatch experiencers claim to have confronted these furry fiends while encroaching into isolated, heavily wooded regions that could easily be defined as Bigfoot's home turf, for a frightened few, these seemingly curious critters, whether in search of food, warmth, or for more insidious agendas, have turned the tables, and it's the human beings who were shocked to find these creatures trespassing into their domiciles. Often these intrusions entail little more than massive groping fingers reaching through open windows. I'll always remember that scene from The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Once they showed that gorilla mask, it ruined everything. But for a lot of that movie, keeping that thing in like deep focus background worked super well.
Yeah, especially the hand.
But the hand through a window, come on, every time. But terrifying as that scenario may be, it pales before the unmitigated horror of stumbling across one of these massive monsters who most believe to be little more than myth within the supposed safety of one's home. It will be some of these harrowing incidents that we will be exploring today. Our first report was discussed on the YouTube channel Bigfoot Case Files and involves a woman named Brandy of Native American ancestry, specifically South Dakota's Yankton Sioux tribe, who, along with her family, endured an increasingly eerie series of encounters that culminated with her son being terrified by a mammoth monstrosity who eventually made its way inside their house, showing an unnatural interest in all of her children. Not the fucking look you want from a Bigfoot.
No.
A stranger.
Yeah.
The meter maid. Nobody.
Yeah, but a Bigfoot especially, you're like, better get Chris Hansen on the phone, man.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
saying.
Hey, have a seat. Squatch. Sit down.
See, Squatch.
The recent, though undated account took place in a rural region of West Arkansas near the Ozark Mountains known as Beaver Lake. It's worth noting that the lake is a man-made reservoir formed by the Beaver Dam, which was built across the White River, home to one of the most intriguing fishy freshwater fiends of the 20th century, the massive bony-spined White River monster, an aquatic enigma that definitely deserves its own episode, but we're not going to fucking waste time here on it. But it's fucking awesome, and there's a great photograph of it. It's one of the great lake monsters, even though it's technically a river monster photo. And I think it was taken in the 30s. But it was like a 20-year spate from like 1915 to 1930 something.
Did it maybe an unput out Patreon
I think we did, yeah. I think that we did a Patreon.
Yeah.
We never like released it, but it obviously needs it demands its own.
Oh yeah, it's vintage Americana.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do remember. Actually, I do remember the episode now. I remember looking at the picture. I remember
because it does look like bubbly tarp and like weird shit.
Yeah,
but I'm still giving it the benefit of the doubt.
Man.
And a lot of people think it's like two mating manatees and like a fucking like a deformed fucking sea urchin. Like there's weird shit.
It's a weird three-way.
I mean, I'm exaggerating. That's not exactly it. They probably just think it's sea cows and shit. But I don't think it is.
Okay,
I think it's a fucking monster.
We're gonna have that for one day, Robert.
We're gonna table that shit.
Awesome.
But while undeniably monstrous, the thing that haunted Brandy and her clan was a cryptozoological conundrum of the two-footed terrestrial variety, although it seemed to be riding shotgun with a fair amount of high strangeness. According to her report, which was published on October 30th, 2023, she and her husband and her 3 children, 2 daughters, 8 and 5 years old respectively, and her youngest, a 3-year-old son, began experiencing strange events from the moment they moved into their new home on Beaver Lake. Case in point, on their first night in their new digs, Brandy and her husband were settling into bed and had just turned out the lights when they were startled by an odd sound which they took to be a group of children giggling just outside their bedroom window.
Oh, the random nighttime encounter with the laughing children.
I mean, that instantly evokes for me like the Salem's Lot.
Yeah,
Thank you,
totally.
Chris. That's exactly it.
It's 100%.
100%. And it's just the worst.
Okay.
It's the fucking worst.
Well,
but it gets more worst. Just in case you were wondering.
The worster.
The worster.
the worstest.
I mean, giggling kids outside your bedroom window of the new house,
Awful.
not a comfort.
No.
Curiosity kicking in, they sat up in bed and listened as the tittering transformed into juvenile voices singing a sort of garbled version of the Black Plague children's verse, Ring Around the Rosie.
What? Oh, God.
I don't even know. I don't know what a garbled children voice is.
I mean, that wasn't bad.
Thank you.
No, I mean, I appreciate the theater.
It's effort.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Big effort.
Damn. Okay.
Failure, but effort. The couple's confusion was transformed to stark terror when the sing-song tones were suddenly replaced with an ear-splitting, inhuman shriek.
What in the actual?
So that's an escalation. That's an auditory nightmare of like, oh, the giggling don't like it. Oh, the not quite singing Ring Around the Rosie baby voices.
Yeah.
Still not happy because obviously it's like lost boys outside, not, the vampire kind and maybe like the preternatural Peter Pan followers. I don't know. And then all of a sudden the ear splitting inhuman shriek. And you're like, well, fucksville.
Yeah, well,
we're moving.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to.
When they rushed to the window, there was evidently nothing to be seen. I say that because they don't report on what fucking happened next. Like, say you didn't see anything, or say you saw something moving, or say there was a small choir of glowing-eyed children, like in that fucking song, Turn Around Bright Eyes. But don't say nothing. But they did. So evidently there was nothing to be seen.
Okay.
The weirdness wouldn't end there, however. Later that day, not long after Brandy's husband left for work between 5:30 and 6 a.m., their young son was playing with his toy trucks near the window in his bedroom when he had a most curious encounter. As little boys are wont to do, this kid took less joy from using his toy construction vehicles to follow the rules of the imaginary road and instead delighted in crashing them together with the accompanying cacophony of verbal crunches and explosions. In the midst of this raucous game, the boy realized that he wasn't the only one enjoying his destructive antics. He heard a tapping on the window and looked up to see what he would later describe to his mom as a man with long hair, quote unquote, tapping on his window with a huge hairy hand. It was clear to the kid that this wild man wanted to see him smash his cars again, compelling Brandy to later report, when my son would crash his Tonka trucks together, that's a blast from the past, that fucking word, the creature would quietly make sounds of amusement and become excited and wait for my son to repeat the action, end quote. Anxious, though in some ways equally amused by the hairy man's enthusiasm, the 3-year-old continued entertaining his peculiar playmate. This went on for a few days, with the bestial being coming to the window and tapping to get the child's attention. When the boy told his mother about the quote-unquote man, she was at first concerned. But when she failed to see the swiftly vanishing being outside the window, she took this figure to be a figment of her son's imagination. Quote, several times he came to me saying that the man with long hair was out on the road or the bedroom window, but I didn't get a look at it. So classic parent gambit. You don't see it. They're 3 or any age, I suppose,
yeah,
below 10.
Guy with long
Okay.
hair. You're like, it's Jesus, clearly. It's a fine. He's
Right.
fine.
Yeah, he loves Tonka trucks.
Do we know if this bedroom is upstairs or downstairs? I'm going to assume it's downstairs.
That's a good question, Chris.
Because
And that was not clarified.
See, if it was the second story, guess what? Yeah,
That changes
Jesus when
everything.
you
yeah,
least
now we're
ex-
talking about Nephilim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Jesus when you least expect him.
You 100%. No, you definitely have to rank it up a lot.
Yeah,
Like, because that thing's either 22 feet tall
right.
or
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sweet giant.
it's a super angel or it's fucking something. But if it's first floor, then it literally could just be a dude with long hair who's a fucking total creeper.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
maybe not that special and maybe a little bit of height. Like maybe he could have played some high school basketball but not gone much further.
Yep.
Community college, maybe. Who
Okay.
knows?
Fine.
Right.
NBA side.
Then, on their 3rd day in the new home, things took a turn. After her husband left for work, Brandy stumbled across a startling sight. Quote, I woke one morning to find large muddy prints that started at my front door, tracked down the hallway to enter each bedroom. So maybe it's a ranch house if it's just going down the hallway and not up the stairs.
Yeah.
But who knows? That's still a guess. Then trailed back up the hall to the living room where it uprooted my potted palm plants and picked all the peppers from my ornamental pepper plant. Son of a bitch.
Fucking peppers.
There were no peppers left at all.
Unbelievable.
Picked all the peppers from my ornamental pepper plant.
I know that is
Yeah, it's a
fucking.
lot.
There were no
yeah.
peppers left at all.
But in your house, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
And leaving big old muddy prints.
Yeah, all right.
The prince did a circuit of my living room, then left the way it came. The front door stood wide open. I blamed my husband and called him at work to chew him out. Poor guy was so confused. See, the prints were so large, I assumed they had come from my husband's work boots, which were much more like logging boots. Strange sounds turning into screams. A hairy man harassing her son, and now it seemed that the whole family was being stalked by a mysterious, large-footed intruder, one who disturbingly had walked into the rooms of each of her sleeping children. No bueno. Brandy, who spent most days alone with her children in their remote home, was in an understandably frantic state. Terrified though she was, Brandy firmly believed that the person intruding into her home was 100% human. But she'd soon come to realize that something else was afoot. A big afoot.
Oh,
Yeah, I did it.
Oh.
I'm not proud.
dude.
I mean, I'm gonna spend a lot of time not looking in mirrors the rest of the day because that's shameful.
This is
But
the
I
last
couldn't.
pod.
I couldn't. Yeah, it's end. It's over. Dream's over, guys. A big
Gonna get some
afoot.
new writers.
Yeah.
Fucking bring on the AI. It's time.
Oh,
Time to
man.
retire this fucking
So
glue.
the prints, I assume, look not like barefoot prints then.
That's the thing. Because if there was clear toes,
Yeah, right.
but they might have just been sloppy smudges.
So right, that you can tell. Obviously, you are footprints, but so
but
not.
yeah, but not like
No.
clearly bare humanoid footprints.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the assumption I would make.
I mean, I would have to
Because unless he's rocking, logging boots with like faux toes, like toe boots, the new
Oh, the
fucking-
skeleton
new
toe
trend in
yeah, yeah.
lumberjacks.
Yeah.
like the barefoot shoes or whatever they are now.
So
The
maybe
skeletos, yeah.
skeletos.
Ugh,
Oh boy.
awful.
Yep. So probably not. This was due to the fact that as the weeks went by, her son was able to more aptly describe his perplexing playmate. Brandy claimed, quote, while I didn't know that the man with long hair out my window was a Bigfoot at the time, I know it now. My little guy just didn't have the language to tell me exactly what he was seeing, only that he was scared of it, end quote. The day Brandy realized that they weren't dealing with a mere human intruder was when her son finally described the man with long hair in detail, depicting it as a, quote, really tall gorilla, not black in color, but dark brown with a pointy head, end quote, which is just classic Squatch.
Yeah,
The knobby head that
Slightly
goes back to
You're like
Yeti.
Patterson Gimlin,
Oh, totally.
pointy head.
No neck, pointy
Yeah.
head,
Huh. Okay.
dark hair. It's the whole 9 yards.
Awesome.
But as if that revelation weren't disturbing enough, what the boy said next left his mother speechless. My son told me recently, I think he wanted me to go with him. He's reluctant to talk about it because it's frightening to recall.
No.
So the beckoning Bigfoot is the ick.
Kid, you're gonna be lunch, dude.
Or just you're gonna have a good time in the woods with somebody that wants to be your big bestial brother.
Maybe.
I mean, it's not like this thing couldn't just run into the house or grab the kids at night and carry them out. I mean, how heavy are kids to something that's fucking 8 foot tall, 700 pounds, made of fucking muscle and gristle and fucking hair? Like, this thing could do what it wants. It's not doing that.
Yeah, because the fear ruins the meat.
But okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Does it?
Coax the kid out.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that was one of the applicable rules.
Yeah.
But I will say where you have to worry about is the Frankenstein's monster protocol of he didn't want to kill the little girl, but flowers float and they're pretty.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to huck you in.
Just throws the kid into the water.
Sorry, you can't swim, Betsy.
I love that scene. Just throws the kid in the water.
I can't believe they edited it out for so many years. Like, it was just, it's too dark. She gets like tossed into water gently, and that's all you see.
It's barely a river.
Yeah.
Like literally.
It's like
Yeah,
the slowest
stand up,
move.
Sally.
It's a stagnant creek.
Yeah, Sally, stand up. If you drown, that's on you.
That's totally
okay?
on you.
Yeah, I mean, you're in 6 inches of water. Enough.
Come on, kid.
Grow up.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. It's not on the monster. No. So maybe the Bigfoot could have, in like vigorous playtime, fucking drawn and quartered the kid. Yeah. Like, woo, woo.
Just pull his head off. Like, oh, damn.
The Bigfoot fuck. This is not what I wanted to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Brandy admitted to not even having considered the possibility that her son was being bothered by a Bigfoot, stating, Bigfoot wasn't even on my radar at the time. Even though we lived in the Ozark Mountains on Beaver Lake, only a stone's throw from the War Eagle area, by the way, coolest neighborhood name ever.
Yeah, seriously.
In
dope.
Northwest Arkansas.
Hell yeah.
Where there were Bigfoot, I almost said Bigfoot, like 2 words, monster reports going way back. We even had a weird experience the first night we spent in the house, which we mentioned before, the weird fucking sounds. We've had every weird Bigfoot activity happen to us, as well as rocks thrown on the roof, window taps, weird calls and screams from the woods at night. I'd even hear the flipping doorbell ringing, but the sound came from outside. So, like, it's mimicking the doorbell from, like, the backyard or something?
That's a new one.
That's weird. Or it's putting a mini portal by, like, the doorbell speaker, and so the sound is going through the hole into...
a mini portal.
I mean, I'm trying to give your interdimensional Bigfoot a little fucking love here.
I mean, it doesn't... Okay.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, even I felt like that was a stretch.
Yeah, mini portal? You think I would go that far? Okay.
Oh, shit, dude. Like,
right.
Yes, I do. 100% I do. I'm not even ashamed. Yes, of course you would.
Okay, miniature portals.
We're still recalling all the weird things that we ignored so easily, she went on to say. While pondering the intentions of the creature that was watching her family, Brandy remembered stories her grandmother had shared with her when she was young. My Native American grandmother told me stories about them when I was little. She said they would watch them come down from the trees along the Missouri River in South Dakota. She told of how several Bigfoot trapped them at the home of friends her family was visiting. End quote. What I find that fascinating is that like a troop of Bigfoot descending the mountain in treetops, like arboreal creatures.
Yeah.
Like, you can see that in your mind's eye. That's incredible. And then sort of like what is that? Like Ape Canyon incident where the lumberjacks allegedly shot a Bigfoot and then were like tormented in one of those cabins where they hucked rocks and were trying to break in all night and they just barely survived the night. Like one of the most infamous Bigfoot incidents. I mean, even though I would love to hear more about the grandmother stories of like the low hanging, swinging fucking feet of the big feet, and
that's a whole new,
and then this like trapped in a house situation. But I mean, we're stuck with what we're stuck with.
Yeah, that's a whole new angle though. That's like some Wookiee shit.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, man.
But there's a lot of reports of them being arboreal, especially when they're young, like smaller Sasquatch being seen in trees. And then, of course, there's and it's a lumberjack creature, but like the legend of the agropelter, which is
that's right. Yeah.
Like those mini apes that like throw dead limbs down to basically kill lumberjacks and woodworkers.
Yeah. Okay.
So, whatever.
Fucking tree-bound fucking Squatch, dude.
Or, why not use it as transportation? Like, you're always looking down for something huge and hairy, or in a cave. Maybe they make a little nest at the top of the sturdiest trees. I mean, they're in the redwood forest, they're in sequoia forests, they're in lots of dense forests.
Like why raccoons, dude.
Monkeys do it.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Cool.
All right. It seems as if, much like alien abductions, for some families, encounters with belligerent Bigfoot are multi-generational. It's dubious, however, that this thought was much of a comfort to Brandy. I mean, potentially losing one child to a Bigfoot is frightening enough, but the fact that the thing was evidently interested in all of her kids makes this potential predator all the more horrifying. But perturbing as this ongoing scenario may be, Brandy was not the first to suffer this scourge, as this is the exact sort of existential terror that was shared by another mother of 3 decades earlier. Yeah. So, guys, let's think about it. What are the big events? What are the fucking tailor-made events of 1925 that come to mind? The inauguration of President Coolidge. Hot shit.
Oh.
U.S. annexes Swains Island. Yeah, also known as the cartographer's delight.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I got one. Is it that the British government says thanks, but no thanks to the Geneva Agreement?
Yeah, which means they basically are fully endorsing bacteriological warfare. And, oh, yeah, big shock, teaching evolution is outlawed in Tennessee.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, 1925.
I mean,
1925 or 2025. It's
Right.
about the same thing.
Women could vote for a couple years, right? At this point,
I'm not even sure.
somewhere, maybe not yet, maybe.
But in nearby Forest County, Mississippi, another kind of history was being made. Our second case comes to us from the files of the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research Organization, the GCBRO, or the GICBRO, as I like to call them.
fuck Gick, bro, dog.
And dates all the way back to, you guessed it, 1925. The account was submitted to their website on December 1st, 2007 by an individual who claimed to have heard the story from their late grandmother, who'd been much more than a mere eyewitness to what has to be one of the weirdest and frankly most terrifying Bigfoot encounters on the books. According to the poster, the extraordinary event took place in a modest two-room, gable-roofed wood cabin that was nestled near a dense stretch of pine woods several miles from any neighbors in Forest County, Mississippi, as I said before. The narrator wrote that their grandmother, who was just 5 years old at the time of the incident, had turned in for the night in the big bed that the entire family shared. I mean, it's a two-room fucking cottage. You're sharing a bedroom.
I mean, is that like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, just everyone sleeps in the bed.
Yeah, and for no reason, they just don't get up.
Well, maybe not that. I'm sure they were intrepid, like Depression era
just living
hardcore
there.
motherfuckers.
Just like goddamn.
You think the
Charlie's-
kids just never got out of bed either?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Mom
just
and
wake
Dad.
up, stay there, go to bed,
Yeah.
wake up, stay there.
Just continue until the Sasquatch appears.
I mean, the grandparents, I always gave them the benefit of the doubt in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the cinematic version, which is what I experienced first, that they were invalids. But then come to find out, they're just lazy fucks.
They got
Yeah.
up, man. They
Yeah.
got up.
What
Grandpa
the fuck
got
is
up.
going on?
Yeah, he's just like, come on, buddy.
I mean,
let's get up.
you lose the will to live. I'm not here to shit on depression. I know what it's like.
Lose
But
the
come
will
on.
to live.
Fucking move it, Gramps. Move it or lose it. Help the kids. Fucking do something. The wife's doing all the hard work.
Yeah. I know.
Kids going out with fucking 6 jobs in school just looking for a golden ticket. God damn
Goddamn
it.
ticket to go watch a child get murdered
Oh,
in a
multiple.
chocolate factory.
Blown up,
Yeah.
discombobulated, disintegrated.
Damn it.
Right.
All sorts of shit.
R.I.P.
Augustus Gloop, whatever the fuck that is.
R.I.P.
Rips.
Gone,
All right.
Gone too
Still
soon.
love that movie. Fuck the Tim Burton version. If you had told me when he had made Edward Scissorhands that he and Johnny Depp would collaborate on a remake of Willy Wonka, I would have been like, fucking A, right they are. Then you see it some decades later and you're like,
Right.
fucking A, they did.
They did the thing.
And I still haven't had the fucking wherewithal to sit through Shallow Maze. I started it a few times.
The
but-
Shamalama Ding Dong one is not bad.
It's not bad.
Fun. It's fun.
Yeah,
If you like, I mean, the whole musical aspect's really good. My daughter's got me watching it.
that's cool.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's so hard to step
It's
in the
fine.
Wilder
it's
shoes.
fine. It's
I mean,
fine.
that's like lightning in a fucking bottle.
Back to Sasquatch, dog.
All right, So yeah, when you're old, fucking do your family a favor, move it or lose it.
That's
Okay,
Right.
there. All right,
putting the
fucking.
fist down.
They're all in a bed.
All right, they're all in bed.
All in a bed. The only amenity provided by their tiny, drafty cottage was a single fireplace, which did little to ameliorate the deep chill, going as low as 36 degrees Fahrenheit, that could penetrate the handcrafted abode on winter nights. So it's not Mississippi hot, it's Mississippi chill. So due to both space restrictions and the deep bone chill in the air, the family huddled together in their single bed for warmth and comfort. On the eve in question, the bed's tenants consisted of the writer's 5-year-old grandmother, her mother, and her 2 older sisters who were 7 and 9. As fate would have it, not long before dusk, their father had ridden off on the family horse to conduct some business in town, leaving the women to fend for themselves. I think Daddy's going to the pub.
Business.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to
The pub and a whore. Fucking
yeah.
nice going, Dad.
Yeah.
Watch out for the kids.
Yeah.
Huh.
Don't catch chlamydia. There's no cure for that shit yet.
No. You get the syphilis, you're going crazy and
That's
losing your
it.
nose, buddy.
Staying in bed, having a fucked up face, dog.
Yeah, you're going to lay down with Nietzsche.
Yo, drippy dick.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was doing business, though. Maybe we're shitting on this guy. We don't know. Maybe he had to trade a horse.
That's hard to give dudes the benefit of the doubt.
It's true. It really is true.
In this kind of situation.
What would you be doing? I'd be fucking anything I could.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Shitty bourbon and
including
fucking
the horse. Oh.
dick wedge. All right. Their only protection came in the form of a family dog that was chained outside the cabin and a chair that they'd wedged against the plank-made door from inside, as the cabin had no locks. Bad call, but what the hell?
Okay, whatever.
It didn't even have a proper latch, so they couldn't even close the fucking door. That chair's doing all the work, all the heavy lifting.
Is this pre-doorknob or something?
No, 100% no.
Okay, cool. Just
I don't
checking.
know much about history, and I certainly don't know what's south of Pennsylvania, but I can tell you one thing. 1925 was prime doorknob fucking tech
Okay, as long as
time.
they had doorknobs.
Tons of them everywhere.
Oh, yeah, they had latches. I mean,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've had latches since medieval times.
Yeah,
Like,
centuries. Yeah.
like
I'm not sure
a
when
simple
the
latch.
knob came in, but a latch and a
latch,
handle
yeah.
that goes way back.
Okay.
The knob itself, I'm putting it out there. Pre 1925.
All right.
I'm making a bold
All
statement,
right. Look, we are not historians.
and no one expects that.
We don't know when the
Right,
knob was
but
created.
just a basic wood thing into a
yeah.
Yeah, little slipper down
Yeah,
thing that
okay.
chunks, and then your doors
Yeah.
safely held
I
in
mean,
place.
Wow.
that's I feel like that's pretty old.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Like fire, bread, latch. Like
The fundamentals. Just as the women, excuse me, began drifting off to sleep, they were startled by the sound of their dog barking outside. At first, they likely assumed it was just warning away some woodland critter, but it soon became clear that the animal was agitated, even afraid. Its barking grew more intense, almost frantic, and was punctuated with howls and panicky whines. Then the sounds began to dissipate, drifting off into the distance. It was as if the canine had managed to snap its chain and was now running away from the cabin in fear, or being pulled away against its will. They don't know, just the sound of the whine.
Oh, into the distance.
Into the howling wind,
oh,
the wintry
God.
night.
Oh, sweet prince. Oh, damn it.
It was then that the women heard something step onto the front porch. The little girl knew it wasn't her father, but something much larger and heavier than anything they'd heard step on the rickety platform before. That's when the door began to shake. The mother drew her 3 petrified daughters closer. Still under the covers, none of them dared to move or utter a sound. According to the Mississippi. Jesus, say a word. Just name all the states, Rob.
You got Mississippi. You're okay.
The
You can
Mississippi
do this.
Wildlife Fisheries and Parks website, quote, the vast acreages of bottomland, hardwood forests, and impenetrable crane breaks, not sure what that is, of the Mississippi Delta were home to high densities of black bears at the turn of the century, end quote. Though by 1932, the black bear population had dwindled significantly enough that it was given statewide protection, in 1925 there were plenty of specimens lurking in rural areas, and it's more than likely the girls who lay in the bed paralyzed with fear wondered if a hungry specimen might be trying to get inside their home to make a meal of them. Their mother might have feared the same, though she was probably even more afraid of the myriad dangers posed by desperate men. Scariest animal in the world?
Told you.
Yep.
Dude.
Can't trust them.
Whatever thoughts were racing through their minds, the women shuddered when a thunderous snap followed a clattering sound indicating that the door had been wrenched open and the chair had been sent skittering across the floor. Whatever it was inside the house. They could hear its heavy footsteps approaching the bedroom door. Expecting the worst, the women braced themselves, but they could hardly have been prepared for what walked into their bedroom that night. The door creaked open, revealing the silhouette of an unbelievably tall, gaunt, hair-smothered figure. Its features were dark and its arms unnaturally long. The women were flabbergasted. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't a man. it was something they simply couldn't comprehend. The thing stepped into the room, and the terrified girls could hear its deep, raspy breathing. It sniffed the air as if trying to figure out what else was in the room, and that's when its god-awful stench hit the women. It was a dank, sulfuric scent with musky traces of skunk. It was all they could do not to retch and bring more attention to themselves. Too afraid to move or make a sound, the women could only stare up in silent horror, and that's when it made a move that no one expected. Without warning, the massive, foul-smelling beast suddenly crashed down, laying horizontally across their legs near the foot of the bed. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
Sasquatch slumber party, bitches.
Dude, fucking shit ape is in your room.
Shit ape decides to fucking lay across your legs,
Okay.
sprawling.
All right.
The thing was so huge that its top and bottom halves lay over the sides of the huge bed, and thin though it may have been for its height, the creature's girth was significant enough to quickly cut off the girl's circulation, compelling the eyewitness to claim that her legs almost instantly fell asleep under the bulky beast's weight.
I mean, it didn't just break her knees.
No, it just, well, I mean, I'm not saying it plopped down with like body slam strength. It probably laid down heavy and quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not enough. Like, I could lay down heavy and quick on my niece's legs, big fat bastard that I am. I'm not going to break them, but her legs will fall asleep pretty
Okay.
quick.
All right. Fair.
So, yeah. The thing took slow, heavy breaths and within seconds had seemingly fallen asleep. The mother and her daughters were at a loss. They dared not move, but even if they could muster the courage to do so, with the vexatious varmint weighing them down, escape was never an option. And even if they managed to struggle out without waking the thing, they were in bedclothes, miles away from any help in the dead of winter. Their options were decidedly limited, and although no mention was made of the mother's mindset during their bizarre ordeal, one has to imagine that, as much as she wished for her husband to return and save them from whatever nefarious fate this thing had planned for her and her daughters after its nap, she feared what this mammoth monstrosity might do if startled from its slumber. Even if it only lashed out in surprise, the damage that might be done to her, her husband, or worse yet, their children, could easily be lethal. As their legs tingled and the foul stench filled the room, the horrified matriarch had to wonder if this creature had come in seeking food and shelter, and having found both in abundance, fully intended to eat its fill of its trapped prey when it woke. Scarier still, what if this thing wasn't alone? What if others of its ilk were on their way to join it for a grisly midnight feast? Might she have imagined her husband the next morning walking past a broken door in a bitter windstorm, only to find his home had been transformed into a bloodbath and his family was little more than a pile of shattered bones and partially devoured flesh? I mean, she might have thought it. I don't know. I'm thinking it for her. Whatever might have been roaming through her mind while the fetid monster slept on her family, the images could not have been comforting, and the fear must have been nearly unimaginable. After what may have been just the better part of an hour, though it likely felt like several lifetimes, the beast finally stirred from its slumber. It did not wake with a start, nor did it linger, staring hungrily, or perhaps every bit as disturbing, lasciviously, at the humans beneath it. With absolutely no fanfare, the creature simply stood up, stretched, turned, and walked out of the house into the icy night. It left the door dangling on its hinges, swaying in the breeze, letting the freezing wind into the tiny cabin, but no one in that bed, even if they could put any weight on their still numb legs, dared to get up and attempt to close what was left of the door. The mother and her 3 young children spent the rest of the night huddling together for warmth and some semblance of comfort, each and every one no doubt terrified that their ordeal was far from over. Eventually, however, the sun's rays broke the horizon and the women got up to see what was left of their cabin. Curiously, with the exception of the swinging door, nothing seemed to have been touched. It seems as if the creature were simply cold and tired and decided to spend some time with fellow hominids before going on its way to parts unknown. Unfortunately, no mention was made of any tracks that might have led to or from the cabin, nor are there any accounts of the husband and father's reaction to his family's experience when he returned later that day. In fact, the only follow-up the poster included was that their grandmother claimed that they never saw nor heard from the beast again. So just a crazy one and done.
Yeah, it just comes in, lays in your legs, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a nap.
Oh, yeah. That's all.
Yeah, all right,
I mean,
cool.
it just, no, I know.
Came in for the bed.
It's so weird. It's like just shit.
I want to paint a darker picture,
I
but
know. I need to.
I mean, this thing, the first one kind of wants a playmate.
Okay.
It's a little scary, but it doesn't hurt the family or the kids. This thing, it's just like, it's fucking cold. It's tired. It comes in, sniffs the ladies, doesn't do anything inappropriate, probably sleeps. I mean, if you got to imagine, if Bigfoot is corporeal and not like some magical shamanistic being, they probably, like a lot of animals, sleep together huddled for warmth in a cave or a burrow or in a tree or wherever the fuck they sleep. They probably huddle together for simple warmth, because when you don't have fucking blanket tech or house tech, I was going to say, but fucking houses, then you need to fucking have a shit pile of flesh to fucking warm yourself. And maybe it was just doing that.
It's so bizarre that it just walks in to just lay on a bed and just it doesn't try to rip you asunder. It doesn't try to make you its friend. It doesn't steal you off into the night.
All things
it just
Bigfoot have
down.
tried to do in other cases.
All right.
And I'm no fan of the Harry and the Hendersons bullshit.
No, same. I'm not. It's not my jam.
That is not what I think these things do. But it doesn't mean that they're always. I mean, a lion. Was it? A lion. Louis Leakey, one of the most famous paleontologists. Maybe he was an archaeologist, but he's the one that discovered like Old Divide Gorge and all the early, humanoid hominid bones. Jesus Christ, bones, and fucking Jesus Christ. But he used to like to tell a tale of when he was out there with like research assistants, like students that came with him, and he was like the first guy to really say, the cradle of humanity was Africa, and that was not a popular thought. They thought it was more in the Middle East, and maybe it is. Who the fuck knows? They can always find older fossils. But as it stands now, and where he brought the field was that it was in Africa. The whole point of that long-winded fucking preamble is he would talk about lions walking through the tents and leaving the students alone. Like, they're not violent if they're well fed. They're still violent and they're still dangerous, and you don't want to fuck around. So what I'm saying is, much like the kids that escaped the lion's jaws, doesn't mean lions are safe. Just means you got real lucky.
Right.
And I'm thinking the same thing happened to this family.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they do what they do. Like.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's random creature coming in your bedroom. Fucking dude. Who? Yeah. Weird.
Our third encounter comes to us from the June 28th, 2021 episode of the Beyond Creepy YouTube channel, and involved a woman named JJ who claimed to have encountered a Bigfoot-like beast that seemed to harbor some distinctly supernatural traits. And yeah, a little bit of spoilering. You're going to probably like this one, Mark.
All right. Okay.
Oh, boy.
All right. A little magic of my old Bigfoot.
Little
like
magic.
A little old abracadabra with my
boy.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, a little hocus pocus.
Yeah, a little hocus pocus. Yeah, a little Professor Finkel.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right. According,
Dumbledore hates you.
No, man, from Frosty the Snowman. Wasn't it Finkel? Wasn't that the guy's name?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You mean the magician?
Was it like Finkel? Professor Finkel or something like that?
I mean, I remember what he looked like. I kind of remember his voice. I know his hat had magic while he didn't, and that embittered him.
Because he was pissed at the rabbit.
And then he killed Frosty, right?
I think, yeah. Melted
Pretty
his
sure
ass.
he killed him.
Melted him in front of the kids.
Yeah. Pissed down the puddle.
Frosty the Snowman. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ,
wow.
man.
Chris is just disappointed in me. Every turn, he's just disappointed.
I'm just waiting for this to end so we can move on.
All right, here we go.
You were nailing it as far as I'm
it.
concerned. Jesus
I need
Christ.
a whole skit.
We're back to it.
Okay. According to the account, in 2012, JJ and her boyfriend had moved into a single-level house situated on a spacious wooded lot in a hilly area just outside of Edmond, Oklahoma. The couple occupied the home for the first few years without incident, until, that is, May of 2014, when JJ returned home after a 2-week sojourn in California, and her life was turned upside down. Arriving in the afternoon, an exhausted JJ had a fun reunion dinner with her boyfriend, after which the pair decided to turn in early. Probably some 2 weeks haven't seen you, Nookie.
No,
I'm not here to
there
say,
you go.
but I'm just saying. At approximately 3 a.m., JJ woke with a parched throat and a twinge of heartburn. Still sleepy, she stumbled into the kitchen and poured herself a glass of water. The only light in the room was the eerie glow cast by the refrigerator's ice dispenser. It was then that she realized that her boyfriend's cat, who would usually be hounding her for treats during a late-night kitchen visit, was nowhere to be seen. As JJ reached up into the cupboard for some Tums, she glanced out the window into the darkened courtyard, and that's when she was overcome by simultaneous waves of fear and adrenaline. JJ suddenly found herself in a state of creeped out hypervigilance, which is a weird combo. Reminds me a lot of whenever I've fucking done edibles. Fucking little pumped up, little weirded out.
Yeah, that's why you got to do those Lumi Labs, dude. Microdose. They're tiny, tiny little guys.
They relax you.
They're gonna treat you good.
No, I agree.
You can use our promo code,
dude,
Heller Space,
I'm
all
a
one
fan
word.
of Lumi Labs, and it's not just because they're a sponsor.
I'm just saying,
they're the legit shit.
Because you got the little tiny doses.
I know.
They're not gonna freak you out, man. By the way, that guy from Frosty was Professor Hinkle.
Oh,
yeah. That's who I turn into when I eat too many edibles. This Professor Hinkle.
Or fucking Jiminy Frankle.
Jiminy Frankle.
Jiminy Frankle.
Chalking it up to an overactive imagination, JJ lectured herself to snap out of it, then found herself talking and singing to herself to dispel the inexplicable tension, something that struck her as odd because she was not usually prone to such sensations. JJ described the moment. I was wide awake at that point because of the little boost of adrenaline from the creepies. I didn't want to succumb to my silly fears and buried them. I walked back to the bedroom, but before I got to the door, something made me look down the hall into the living room, and the light was partially blocked by something. There should have been light from the street light coming from the front-facing window to the left in the living room. I stood there trying to make it out from the top of the ceiling in the hallway, which transitions into the living room, which has a 20-foot vaulted ceiling with 2 skylights. I saw an outline of a figure. There was light from behind it, but it was so big it blocked most of it. It was strange because the shoulder was just below the ceiling of the hallway. So, the hallway goes into a vaulted ceiling living room, so you can't see the upper part of the living room from the hallway.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just she's seeing the shoulder of this very tall thing.
That's big.
Yeah, and it's a 20-foot fucking ceiling.
That's
so
a big one.
I don't know how tall the hallway is, but it's just the
Right.
shoulder.
Okay.
And also it's a step down, I think, into the living room. So that enhances its height.
Extra big ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's fucked up. I stood there trying to figure out what I was looking at. From the point where I was standing to the end of the hallway was about 25 feet. It was just so oddly dark when it shouldn't have been. Then I realized the shoulder was moving slightly down and a head shape appeared and 2 glowing red eyes looked at me.
Yes, bitch. I love it.
Not like flashlights or glowing eyes of a Halloween decoration, a dull red, not very bright. I'm pretty sure I audibly gasped when I saw the red eyes.
Yeah, dude.
I knew it would be right up your alley.
This is it. This is my jam, dog.
It was at that moment that something even less explicable and much more troubling occurred. In her mind, JJ heard a strange voice utter 3 simple words. Go to bed.
Yeah, psychic Bigfoot, baby. He's in your living room.
Go to fucking bed.
Do you know what we call that in my house? We call that a GTB.
Oh.
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
I like that.
There it is.
Those were my thoughts piercing through the fear and disbelief. I was on autopilot and went into the room and shut my door, end quote. Though seemingly in a trance-like state, the woman found herself doing something that later struck her as ridiculous. Evidently frightened by the colossal creature standing in her living room, JJ pushed a small hamper in front of the door in the hopes that it might somehow prevent the creature from entering her bedroom, an instinct which she later dismissed as, I think about that now, as the dumbest action.
You took what you had and you did your best with it.
So, but I can see you're in a kind of a stupor, you're not controlling your thoughts, but you're still in enough control of your faculties to be like, I can't have this fucking thing coming in.
Throw something in front of it.
Something.
Yeah. All right.
Nothing's going to stop it.
No.
Not that particle board bullshit you call a door.
No.
She might have she has a 25-foot hallway. Maybe it's a fancy oak door. I don't know. But I'm assuming it's some bullshit door.
The thing
Either
that
way,
big, it doesn't care.
Doesn't give a fuck.
No.
0 fucks. And it's got red eyes. Beyond Creepy's Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Black, again, great show, really fun. If you're into high strangeness shit, highly recommend it.
For sure.
Described what happened next, quote, from there she crawled into bed and sat staring at the door, waiting in horror for the moment that it might enter, end quote. JJ then picked up the narrative. Thoughts kept going through my mind. There was no way that was real, but I'm wide awake, I thought to myself. I then thought to go check again, but I couldn't move. I didn't hear any noises, nothing. I laid there an hour thinking and listening. There was nothing." End quote. It was when JJ began replaying the incident over and over in her mind that its high strangeness made itself clear. Quote, "I thought over and over. What I saw was a large-shouldered man gorilla that dipped its head down with red eyes looking at me. He was slow and meticulous in movement and quiet. It was like it stood still to hide and looked at me because it noticed I was looking at it. But he seemed ghost-like, not see-through. He was solid enough to block the light, like light and sound was blocked. It was surreal, and my mind couldn't grasp it. It had broad shoulders, so broad it could have blocked the whole hallway, but it was half leaning over into the living room. No neck, shoulder, and head melded together. It kind of dipped a foot for me to see its red eyes glow. When it did that, my brain denied. I kept going over the facts." End quote. So, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, this actually plays out like the normal thought process of somebody who experienced something like this, even if they're kind of mesmerized and can't react physically. Eventually, her long trip and her body's needs overcame JJ's hyperactive thought process. Quote, "I don't know how, but I fell asleep. I made a conscious decision that it was Sasquatch, but denied its reality immediately." JJ woke at 10 a.m. the following morning, which struck her as odd as she was usually an early bird. Languishing in bed, the memories of what she'd seen the night before suddenly flooded back into her memory. She glanced next to her, but her boyfriend was already up. She then heard the sound of someone moving in the house. For a moment, JJ was terrified that the massive man-beast might still be in her home. Then she heard the sound of the television and was comforted by the fact that it was just her significant other moving about. JJ climbed out of bed and walked into the kitchen, but to her dismay, her boyfriend was nowhere to be found. Despite what she had heard, the house appeared to be completely empty. Even the television was off. So, weird sounds again.
Whoa,
high strangeness.
Weird.
Not wanting to chance a confrontation with any malevolent forces, JJ immediately set about burning sage throughout her house to ward off any evil spirits.
Smudge and salt, dude. There you go.
As soon as she was finished, she logged onto her computer to look into local Bigfoot sightings. On the BFRO website, she found an account from 1982 regarding a teenage boy who spied a juvenile ape man frolicking in a drainage ditch. Oddly enough, she put together the fact that her house was built in 1982 and that happened in 1982, even though I don't see the correlation.
Yeah.
We're just going to put it out there.
Dude, I mean, monkey man in the drainage ditch. House built in 82.
I mean, even around here, there's like in the 80s, Bigfoot sightings in Ithaca.
Yeah.
And obviously more upstate, there's tons.
Right.
Central New York, with the exception of your mom, not riddled with Bigfoot sightings.
Dude, she's sus. She was
she might be sus, but
she was drunk.
It's still our only hometown. Well, she said she was stoned as shit.
She said she was drunk.
Oh, she was both?
Yeah, she wasn't high. She was just drinking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fair ugh.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get drunk a lot. I don't see Bigfoot.
That's my mom.
Yeah. I've never seen Bigfoot.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm drunk fairly regular basis.
Yeah.
And never seen a Bigfoot.
Nah, Bigfoot's not a side effect of drinking, I don't think.
You never know.
I mean, all right. I mean, I'm not your mom, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
She probably saw someone.
Carol saw a Squatch.
She saw someone in the distance.
In a cornfield.
That moved.
In Troop.
I mean, yeah.
Or Cato, or somewhere nearby. I don't remember exactly where.
I believe it was Troop, yes.
Okay. Still, getting back to JJ, this didn't explain the red eyes or translucent appearance of the thing she saw, compelling JJ to wonder if perhaps she'd encountered the disincarnate spirit of a Sasquatch who had once upon a time roamed the region as a living being, but was now haunting what used to be its wooded terrain, but was now her living room.
Dude, fucking Sasquatch ghost, dude, the Bigfoot ghost. Where is Zach Bagans when you need him?
Oh my God, he'd shout at it so much.
Yell at it.
Oh my God.
He'd chase it.
Boofoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Boofoot.
Yeah, put it in a box and then warn people not to open it. This is the Poltersquatch box.
Oh, it's even better.
Don't open it.
Oh,
man, you just start screaming at it. It's like, you don't even know.
Oh, I want to drink a beer called Doppelsquatch.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know. It'd be great.
Dog.
Double something.
I mean, this
All right.
is like the culmination. What is it?
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Does that work?
The culmination of what?
Of the Sasquatch shows and the ghost shows coming together.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That's perfect.
Absolutely. It's the blending
should make that shit
of
happen.
greatness. I
should
mean,
make it happen.
Finding Ghostfoot, you know?
Cool.
I mean, it's not it. It's not the title. That's the working title. That's the pitch.
Finding Poltersquatch.
Yeah, Poltersquatch is good.
Poltersquatch
It's better than
is dope.
Bigfoot, definitely.
Bigfoot's pretty good, though.
Man.
Fuck. All right. So, though, if the stone tape theory, or in this case, the desiccated tree trunk theory, is correct, and she saw the image of a primordial human-like creature wandering what was once its woodland home, then why was this creature ducking down to see its human counterpart down a narrow corridor? In the case of it being a Ghostfoot, or I'm sorry, fucking Poltersquatch, I would think that it would just be doing its natural habitat shit. But then again, there's a fine line, because I know some people think the disincarnate spirits, the ghosts, sometimes it's like the stone tape theory, just the repeating visual images transposed onto the minerals or the bricks or whatever in a house, just repeating something that happened over and over again, like a record on a loop.
Yeah, the quartz, dude. The quartz records.
Yep.
Yep.
Or that they're somehow sentient, they're reliving the last suffering moments of their life, and then tormenting anyone that becomes involved with it somehow because they're sad, you're sad. I've never been sure about ghost theory.
No, well,
I don't get it. It's one of the reasons it pisses me off. Like they act like there's so much science. They have so much, EMF and fucking yabba yabba.
Well, yeah, no,
the
it is,
powers
none of that is,
motherfucker.
Yeah, they're just saying that it does.
Yeah. It's not a science. Oh, I didn't want to have to be the one to say it.
It's okay, man.
Sorry.
We're all
It's not
here
a
for
goddamn
it.
science.
It's okay.
I want it to be. You know
know
what cryptozoology is? Almost a science.
Almost.
It's a damn step closer.
Close.
Ufology? Close second.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, it's better than ghosts.
Yeah, we're all dancing on the same floor here, buddy. Okay, we're all dancing.
I tell you what, the Pentagon's never come out and said this ghost was real.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, how dare you?
Well, when they start coming out with ghost footage and claiming that it's real ghost footage, then
we'll know.
Then there's going to be some problems.
Yeah,
Shit,
exactly.
I know.
We're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, fuck off. We got ghosts, dog.
So, I mean, I'm thinking based on this that, I mean, unless it is just the sentient spirit of a long dead hominid or hominoid, that it's probably some sort of interactive thing.
Well, it said told her to go to bed. It gave her a command.
It did tell her to go to goddamn bed.
It gave her a GTB to go to bed.
There it is.
There you go.
All right. Later that afternoon, JJ and her boyfriend were enjoying a backyard barbecue when, as they sat down to eat, their dog, a usually placid basset hound, suddenly began barking at what appeared to be an empty space near the corner of their house near the back door. JJ described the moment. This house has lots of weird angles, and this corner had one wall that looks into the kitchen and the other wall that was the back door into the dining room. And what's interesting about that is that's the window she was looking out when she started getting that creepy feeling when she was reaching for the Tums.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that means anything, but it's just interesting to point out. So who the fuck knows? Nothing was there. I couldn't see anything. It was like my dog suddenly noticed something, was looking up, and had hackles raised and was growling and barking uncontrollably. I'd recuperated and came to terms with what happened the night before, and then this happened. The boyfriend, who was just humoring me, now took me a little more seriously. The dog only barked like this one other time, and that was a few years later, but I saw nothing. I got the sage and cleansed the yard. Never had a problem again.
Smudge the yard, dude.
Smudge
There
it.
you go.
Really?
All
Okay.
right.
I mean, Smudgefoot, that's a whole thing, you know. I mean, see, because, all right, so now, I mean, I know you're in your fucking glory, Mark, but this
dude.
makes me, because I want Bigfoot, if it's real, to be corporeal. I know it's hard. I know it can't exist in England. So anytime you saw one in England or Scotland or Ireland, you saw a fucking ghost because it can't be fucking there. I'm sorry. God damn it. Cannock Chase be damned. But... But in at least North America, and especially in Canada and in the wilds of Africa and the Southeast Asia, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. Or in Pendek, That shit's a proto-human, and he's kicking back, and he's fucking rocking and rolling, and he's not
Man,
magic, and he's not a Kappa with like a fucking puddle of water in his head.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking ape dude rocking.
Gotta open your heart and mind, dude. Open your third eye to the possibility that the alien, the Squatch, and the ghost are all the same thing. Kind of like what all this shit that happened in Stardust Ranch. Was it paranormal or was it aliens or was it the same thing?
I mean,
Exactly.
fuck.
Open your heart, dude.
I don't know.
We're here for you.
No. I know you are, and I
Yeah,
love that.
we're
I
here.
mean, no, my heart's staying closed on
We're
this matter.
here. Not Chris.
Oh.
We are here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not Chris.
No, not Chris.
I mean, Chris is still technically here.
Not for this.
And I
not
would
for this
rely
theory.
on him in a pinch as I
If
would
Chris
you.
jumps on board with this theory, the show is over.
But Chris is not going to
Yeah,
jump
I
on
get-
board.
We
with
need
this.
Chris to be over there, okay? We need him on that wall.
When it's telling you what to fucking do, with its
Go to
glowing
bed.
ass eyes and it's blocking light, but it's still translucent. Well, I'm.
You've gone from cryptozoology to the paranormal, dude.
It's true. All right,
you
so
got your polter squatch, your Bigfoot.
All right, we got to take it as what it is.
All right, there it is.
I'm not here to rewrite JJ's story.
No, it is what it is, man.
This is what she saw. Fuck. So that's that.
It,
Okay.
it happens,
Yeah.
dude. It happens.
Smudge the yard.
Good.
After this 1-2 punch, JJ managed to push the events to the back of her mind. That was until, while surfing the web in 2015, she stumbled across the Ontario Sasquatch YouTube channel where she was introduced to the theory that Bigfoot and their brethren might be, wait for it, interdimensional interlopers hopping willy-nilly through metaphysical portals. You're welcome.
Yeah. You know what this is? This is my day.
This is your day.
This is my
This
day.
is Mark's special day.
This is my moment.
This is Bring Mark to Pod Day.
Yeah. Papa, what do you do at work all day? The interdimensional squatch, son. Okay.
Oh, can I come? Can I pet one?
Can I pet one?
Can it mesmerize me, Papa?
Can it tell me to go to bed? Cool.
Jesus. That sounded weird. Although
I did.
the hypothesis initially struck her as ludicrous, thank you, JJ,
Oh.
she saw something that struck a chord. Quote, then he talked about the Sasquatch being in the house and things moving around. Boom, connection. No, it couldn't be. I did a YouTube crawl and found more videos talking about how Sasquatch popped in and out of existence and were often accompanied by strange lights, which I never saw. Even 2 years later, I am positive there was a Sasquatch in my house, which actually still leaves it wide open because she's getting mind blown by these interdimensional connections, but she still seems a little bit skeptical. So I don't know where JJ stands on it other than
it's
Bigfoot trespassed.
I guess.
In a very paranormal way.
Sure.
All right.
In order to get a more accurate assessment of the beast, JJ took matters into her own hands. I went and got a stepladder and a measuring tape. This is 2 years later, mind you, so I thought its shoulders were at the top of the ceiling cut off to the hallway. There is a large awkward step down into the living room that is a solid 12 inches. Bad design. So like I was saying earlier, 12-inch
step.
drop
Yeah, that's
and then a 20-foot vaulted ceiling.
that's a dip.
Yeah. So this thing's big.
You're constantly doing that weird phantom step.
Oh, I
Every
would
time.
I would fall. I would
Yeah,
I
I
would
hate
throw
that
up.
shit.
My,
That's the
I mean,
worst.
my knee hurts just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I would trip going up. I would fall going down. I would need to build. I would need to build a fucking ramp, and I would put shag carpeting.
The
on
worst
it.
living room design.
I
ever.
hate it.
All right.
I measure from the floor in the living room up to the top of the hallway, then up higher to where the top of the head might have hit. 10.5 feet. What the heck? So now I'm shifting into the woo-woo. I let myself think about this possibility. Is Sasquatch a trans-dimensional species that can cloak themselves? I thought about the incident. I couldn't explain it away. I was wide awake. My eyes were adjusted to the low light. If it isn't nothing, then it has to be something. End quote.
Okay.
Not quite as profound as I would like, but you know what? I'm going to give it to you, JJ.
All she can do is just report the incident that she had happen, and
It is what it is.
definitely not a typical run-in with a Sasquatch. Though she is correct, there are plenty of reports of Squatch with the spheres.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty,
Totally.
which is even weirder.
Or-
They have the cool portal spears.
I mean, we're going to do it. We're going to do it probably for your birthday.
No, nice.
We're going to do the UFO Bigfoot connection.
Cool.
Because that has to be
I
done.
do love it. It is fun.
Yeah. But I mean, but it also stands to reason that they would be abducted. If they're another even partially intelligent hominoid species and grays are interested in us, then it would stand to reason they're interested in them.
Yeah.
And if they're going to like, I don't know, core the anus of a cow, who knows what the fuck they're doing to Squatch. I mean, hopefully nothing that invasive.
Dude, Squatch ripping apart a gray.
Oh, dude, can you imagine?
Dude, it'd be dope.
Wouldn't it be cool if like they couldn't like mesmerize them the way they can humans?
Yeah, dude. And
They have to be super careful. Like they might be our greatest ally in the Great Gray War.
Dude.
They just go in there and hammer fucking tong them. I don't even know what that means. They hammer tong them. Hammer to tongs, baby. Fucking blacksmith those fuckers into oblivion.
I was going to say, they just like,
Jesus Christ.
Fuck their necks or something.
Fuck their necks.
Yeah.
Sasquatch is going to fuck your neck, Gray. Learn to live with it. Fear it.
It has to be a movie. Nicolas Cage has to be in it.
Oh, yeah.
God
fuck your
damn
neck.
it.
I mean, if we ever do the Stardust Ranch movie and he plays John Edwards, fuck your neck, Gray is going to be a line.
Yes.
We're going to have to put it in the writing.
All right.
The only way we can use our research and the script we're probably never going to write
is that this line gets said by Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Much like
All right.
Sasquatch, I'm going to fuck your neck.
There you go.
Slow close up. Okay. Eventually, JJ and her boyfriend separated. Aw.
No, bummer.
And she moved away from Oklahoma and all traces of Bigfoot contact. But to this day, she claims to be haunted by the experience. Quote, also, I had the realization that it glamored me like a vampire from a dime store novel. I was told to go to bed. My dog saw it and raised a ruckus. My boyfriend and I were standing right there. I couldn't see it, smell it, feel it, nothing. But the dog knew. The cat hid all day. I'm glad the cat's okay. I didn't know how.
Oh yeah,
that was
because they
gonna turn
mentioned
out.
it and then they didn't
Yeah,
until
it's
now.
like he's not there,
So
and I'm like, ooh, the innards. We've seen bad things happen to cats and dogs with paranormal shit.
Yeah.
I allowed myself to go down that rabbit hole. It's dark in there. I thought a lot about why me. Why me indeed?
Yeah.
That seems to be the most common question asked by contactees and experiencers, whether they are being harangued by spirits, aliens, or even more rarely, such as this case, potential cryptids. Perhaps the awful truth is, much like natural disasters or random acts of violence, there is no explanation. Sometimes weird, frightening, or terrible things happen for no reason at all. Maybe the horrified women and children in these 3 cases just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But, terrifying though their ordeals and their aftermath might have been, all those involved ought to thank their lucky stars that a lingering fear is their only legacy of these encounters, for there were others who were far less lucky. But we'll deal with those truly unfortunate victims at a later date. This is not a part 1, part 2. There are definitely much worse Bigfoot encounters, and we will definitely be dealing with them, but this is just Bigfoot breaking and entering.
All
so
right,
as
man.
tough as it is, and as much as JJ and Brandy...
It gets worse.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, man, yes.
Well, there it is. Busting in with Bigfoot, the breaking and entering. Interesting, though, all these encounters. That doesn't really do anything to anybody. It just is there.
These 3 encounters.
It tells the girl to go to bed, which is not anything physical. It just like looks like
it's just like
GTB.
scoot.
All right, and then you've got the one coming in, laying on the kids. Just
maybe it thought they were cold and it was doing them a solid.
I mean, or it's,
well, maybe.
I mean, their legs
you know.
might have been asleep and they were certainly shitting their knickers, but they probably weren't cold.
No. And then you have the weird Squatch trying to get the kid to come outside. So this is all weird interactions, because assuming you're dealing with some kind of like wild creature, this thing is definitely showing like some not only paranormal characteristics, but like hyper intelligent to the point of like trying to cross communicate with like other species, which is weird. Or maybe just like coming across shit and being like, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to lay here on this bed with these people. It clearly saw them there.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like it didn't see them. It'd be one thing, if it like didn't see him or something, like laid down. It's like, oh, there's some
jumped up like, what the fuck?
It's one of those cool human leg beds. Cool. Like it didn't do that. So yeah, strange, because you don't really get many cases.
And this runs the gamut. I'm glad you pointed that out, because one of the interesting things is, like, the first case shows intelligence.
Yeah.
Even if it's just childlike intelligence, and it's delighting in the crashing sounds, and maybe it just likes the sound of a happy kid. A lot of people do. It's not a rare thing in humanity.
Yeah,
we're all supposed to
kid.
delight in a child's laughter, I suppose, as a species, because we're supposed to, protect the universal progeny of our species. I like hearing a kid laugh. No big deal. The fuck? No big deal.
I like
what are you
hearing
judging
laughter
me
of
for?
innocent
Laughter
children,
at
no big
children
deal.
is a delightful sound. What the fuck
Jesus
is wrong with
Christ,
you?
fucking-
The fact that I even said no big deal
Yeah,
makes
seriously,
it weird.
they're fucking Rob Wayne Gacy. Jesus Christ.
My point is, My point is, fucking, maybe this thing is just delighting it and it's kind of bright. Second thing, could be purely animal. Chilly, less chilly inside wood cave, less chillier even on bed of people.
Yeah, true,
fine.
True.
Third one, full on paradigm shift.
Yeah, no, that definitely has the callings of the internet. Well, so back with the David Grush interview when he was on Joe Rogan, he talked about the phenomenon presenting itself as a hairy hominid.
Oh, now I didn't catch that.
Now that always caught my. He was referring to Magonia. He was discussing Magonia, talking about ghosts, aliens, squash. All
Jack Valley's epic.
Okay, going full keel, going more Valley than keel.
Sure.
Yeah, Jacques Valley.
Jacques Valley.
Yeah. Jack Valley.
Jack Valley.
So going full Valley.
Yeah.
Going full Jack Valley with that. So if that is to be understood, which is a theory that I do believe in, that yes, it is all just a different interpretation of the same phenomena, then that would make sense with this. The interesting thing though is that it gives a command and she takes it. And she's true. She said glamored but mesmered basically by a fucking enormous squash with red eyes, just like GTB, and she just like boom, she did, which is a crazy psychic thing. We actually had a Patreon story, remember, about a psychic Bigfoot.
Yes.
That like demanded like go away to whatever the I think it was like a woman hiking or something like that. So yeah, man, you've got those weird little connections here that they kind of
Again, it'll come as no surprise to anyone listening to this. And I know Chris, for his own reasons, hates it. I loathe your umbrella. I loathe the magic whale. I can't stand the thought that it's all the same thing. But for the sake of shits and giggles, let's suppose it is. And there is this one universal intelligence that, decides to manifest as Greys or a Bigfoot or I don't know, like a Kelpie that like wants to ride you into the fucking lake and drown you or whatever. Like what's the goddamn point of a universal intelligence that can manifest itself in any goddamn way? And maybe hell, for all we know, half the human race is these things, and they're just looking like us. I don't
know. I'm not sure why this non-human intelligence. Oh, I brought it up. I'm not sure why it would choose to take whatever form it takes. If you go by Magonia standards, then it's just like whatever's happening at the time. Like Greys were in for forever. Apparently, Sasquatch is a thing. Back in the early sightings, where you've got when all the aliens were dope. When you've got like the Bella Horizontes and like all kinds of fun stuff,
Yeah, the Garson invaders.
Which is like very reminiscent of the culture at the pop culture at the time with the pulp covers and everything. So it's like picking ways to, show itself to you, making it. That's how you're seeing it.
But to me, that is why I always felt, as much as I admire Jacques Vallée and John Keel and a lot of the people that were ultra terrestrial theorists and just not propose so much, but subscribe to the Magonia idea, and that is, it's like that. I believe they did it with good intentions, but to me that implies resignation. I can't comprehend what's going on.
You're kind of going over the mountain with it.
It's so disparate and weird, and yet it seems to be wanting to talk to me. So it must all be one thing, and it manifests in any way it wants to. And fuck you.
It's kidding, but it makes it. It takes it from a smaller thing. In my personal opinion, it takes it from being small and makes it really big. I did that. Boy, this is some.
But here's where I take it. I think a lot of researchers that spend a lot of time doing this, and we are also among that ilk. I know I felt it myself too. When you research enough of these things and you find enough commonality, but you can't really cipher why it's different, and you see ghost things doing a certain thing that reminds you of elf stories, that reminds you of alien stories, that it's sort of like that baby Sasquatch story from fucking Central Florida or whatever. And you're like, holy shit, maybe. I think it's the human brain's desire, as we discuss every other pod, to make patterns where sometimes they exist and sometimes you get like the red yarn out and you can solve the fucking, who killed JFK, at least to your own liking. And other times you're just driving yourself nuts. I think in a way that we get so overwhelmed, our circuits kind of fucking flare out and we're like, fuck it. I think this might all be one thing. But nothing else works that way in reality. A fucking typewriter isn't a banana, isn't a fucking wombat.
No, yeah.
Nothing else in science works that way. So why should paranormal, which I want to be just an untapped science, why should that just be one universal umbrella of fuck ya?
Right. It shouldn't. The problem with this is that there's no, if you're going to talk science, right, like physics is looking for like a unifying theory of like matter, right,
sure,
and stuff. But this is under evidence, right? We know what gravity does. We have things that are proven. When you have every single thing under this unifying theory not proven, then you just have a unifying theory of what? Like, right? You don't have.
Then it becomes more like a philosophy or a religion.
Yeah, you don't have a
It's
thing.
an article of faith
I understand why
rather than a scientific
you want to do
principle.
it. You're like, let's just put it under this, but there's nothing there to begin with. So,
but I disagree with that.
Gripping all the there's not evidence like there is science for that theory.
You're 100% right, but I would say there's enough circumstantial evidence and implied ideas so that you could at least segment them off. Like cryptozoology, ufology.
Yes.
Parapsychology.
I'm saying a unified theory of a paranormal or really doesn't work for me yet.
Agreed. That's what I would say. 100%.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You don't go for a unified theory, until you've got individual theories that can stand up to some scrutiny.
Like, you got to prove the Bigfoot and the ghost first, and then get some commonality there before you have a unifying theory.
And I would say at
least at minimum,
cryptozoology is a science, and that no scientist, no biologist, no naturalist, no zoologist would say that all animals have been discovered. In the end, they're just undiscovered animals.
Yeah.
Now, you might deny the existence of specific cryptids like Nessie or Bigfoot or fill in the blank, Chupacabra. That's fine. But cryptozoology is a science, undeniable. There are animals that have yet to be discovered, especially in the oceans. That's going to happen, certainly in the larger land masses. Ufology. There's shit we don't identify in the sky. The government has come forward, whether or not they really do know or don't know, and that's a whole other thing, and we can't cover it now. But there are things going on, and there does seem to be examples of high technology that our best pilots and our best scientists have assessed, at least through radar and video and whatever other means they have, to say that you can't say they're aliens, Chris. I agree with that, but that there's something there, and we don't understand how the fuck it works, and it's pretty impressive. That is a form of science.
Sure, that's fine.
Ghosts, well, there's some interesting photos. There's some interesting video footage, to be sure. Interesting readings that I don't know as much about. It's more nebulous to me, but I can't speak in any erudite way about that. But there are principles, guiding principles in each of these fields that even though you can't say it's aliens and you can't say Bigfoot's real, you can definitely say there's some shit in the sky we don't know about. There's some animals we haven't discovered. What I don't like is when you jump on, and I'm not beating you up by saying this, Mark, where it's like it's all this magical imp from the other side that is smarter than you and knows everything.
Mr. Mistleplake comes over, creates the ghost, creates the Bigfoot. Just don't say my name.
It's fucking Indrid cold in a fucking beer can.
Funny.
And I'm just like, well, and I'm not shitting on people that believe that either. I'm just like,
that's cooler. You know it's cooler. You know it.
The problem
Don't
is
lie.
though, you lose
It's
the
cooler.
cool in the fucking in the
cooler.
miasma, because then we're all special. Then this book is special. Then this fucking puzzle, this jigsaw puzzle that my camera stand, it's the most special thing. It's magical. It's 7 fairies and a fucking
It
lake
could be
monster.
Bigfoot tricking you.
It could be, yeah. That could
It's
be a
fucking the
paranormal
Chupacabra's
Bigfoot.
taint, and it's fucking all the glory of the universe in one plastic wrapped piece of cardboard. All right. I went tangential. Bigfoot in the house is freaky.
Yeah, I think like going back to like what we originally were talking about, just the fact that it is a wild animal, it is in your house. It's not like when a deer somehow gets in your house and it fucking trashes the place and just beats everybody up.
Right.
These things come in with intent. I mean, the one with the kid had walked down a hallway. You know, it was playing with the kid. It was leaving
the intent.
fucking footprint.
Walking down the hallway.
Yeah, it was walking down a hallway.
And we can't limit it to just
It is bizarre.
the 3 choices I made, because there's definitely where they break into like old timey pioneering cabins, eat all your pickled herring and fucking break your sugar,
your salted
stocks.
skins.
Exactly. Lick all your salted skins.
Oh God.
Fucking take all
awful.
your trapped animals and fucking build a fucking loincloth.
I mean, thank God it didn't do anything harmful to
Not in
anybody,
these cases.
except for maybe the last case. That thing could be haunting her for the rest of her life.
I'm not convinced that it's even a Sasquatch. Like,
I mean, you
what's
know,
the evidence
could,
really for a Sasquatch?
Could be a bear. There could very well could be a bear.
Which one?
I don't know. Any of them.
Jesus Christ,
Could
dude.
be a bear.
I'm going to say that they're not bears. I mean,
I would
on a
go
limb
demon
there.
over bear for this last
You go
one.
demon over.
Chris is going to go demon over bear. Look what you've done.
I was talking about the first two. I'm not gonna discuss the.
Clearly, we're talking about the third one.
I'm not gonna. Oh, I know. I was talking about the first two. I wasn't talking about the third one.
The first 2 still aren't fucking bear.
Okay, fine.
I mean,
Probably not.
Probably not.
Science. Science falls apart at a molecular level.
All right. You know why? You threw me for a
I don't
fucking
know what
loop?
the fuck that even
You
means.
son of a bitch. And it's subatomic level.
Oh, sorry.
Dill. But
Prince of Darkness.
Yes, exactly. So where you threw me fucking off was
Magical imps.
I started thinking about your fuck-sucking imps. I started thinking about your goddamn magical theories, and I thought, well, maybe it is a sort of interdimensional magic bear. So that caught me up. So the fact that was even in my head for a second, so it could be a bear, could be a weird interdimensional ghost bear that's really a shaman, that's really fucking a third fucking
see, that you definitely need
goblin.
They definitely need Baggins for that.
That's the thing I can't have. That just it fucked me up. You know what? That if I was a cop, that would have frozen me in my spot, and I would have been shot by the perp.
Yeah,
I cannot have that magical thinking because that fucking slows me down.
Listen, those imps are under that table waiting to tickle your dink. You're gonna be okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, prove it.
I'm
prove
waiting.
it,
Yeah, prove it.
Prove it. Yeah,
I'm right
let's
here.
See your science.
Let's
imps.
see it. Come on, imp science. Touch my dick.
Just do it.
Oh, Cryptonaut podcast.
Oh, Christ.
Holy shit, we nailed it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did it.
Bigfoot in your house. Imps touch my dick. Kicked it right out of the fucking park.
Oh man, thank you for joining us. Holy shit, that was funny. Oh god. Oh, excellent choice of stories, by the way.
Thank you.
That was fucking excellent research on your part there, good sir Robert. We have some Patreon shout outs to do for the folks to support us over there at patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast. We're going to put a little longer list this week because we got to do some catching up. So
that's fair.
Let's do it, good sir.
Beginning with Jack Burton.
Hell yeah, Jack
and
Burton.
is a big old Big Trouble in Little China fan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If that's your real name, you're lucky. And if you're doing it as an homage, God bless.
You rule.
Right.
Love that movie.
Better have a truck called the Pork Chop Express.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Robert Troop.
Thank you, Robert.
Taylor.
What up, Taylor?
Robert Thomas Morphy the fourth.
Oh shit.
Oh,
okay.
shit. I wonder if
got
it's
some descendants.
It's one of my werewolf babies.
Dude, RTM4.
I didn't get a chance to name them. I don't even know if I actually knocked up my werewolf lover. I'm not even sure she was a werewolf. Let me go on a limb.
So many
Pretty sure I'm not.
years of child support.
Well, they would have.
You are going to jail.
First off, if werewolves aged like in half dog years,
For child support.
they've been adults forever. Secondly, I would have named all the boys Robert Thomas Morphy the something.
Right. Okay.
So it just makes sense that the second oldest would have been the
RTM
fourth.
the seventh.
So if you are my progeny, God bless. God bless. I wish you the best. And good luck with the Yakuza. I know they're still being
and they
dicks.
should come after you for child support.
Oh shit. It's
Yeah.
still one of the weirdest things.
Exactly.
Ryan Dona.
Thank you, Ryan.
Dan Webb.
Thank you, Dan.
Wenchi. Wenchi. I think I got it right.
I think you missed one there.
Oh yeah, I did. Let me
Yep.
go back. It doesn't matter.
It's okay.
I'll
You're
skip
good.
back. Wenchi, thank you.
Thank you,
Cute name.
Wenchi. We appreciate it.
OBI.
OBI, thank you so much.
I like that too. Jeremy Handy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
SG.
Hell yeah, SG.
Mac.
What up, Mac?
Brooke Weber.
Thank you, Brooke.
Damon.
Hell yeah, Damon.
Ashley U.
Thank you, Ashley.
Quorum of One.
Quorum of One, thank you so much for your monthly support.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Carmen.
Thank you, Mike.
Jimothy Beam.
Nice. Timothy Beam, I love
nice.
it. There you go.
Jacaniels Daniels.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's a couple key names.
Nice.
Oh, Jamblesons. But thank you, Jimothy. Pinky.
Oh, thank you, Pinky.
Klesbick.
Yeah, Klesbick. One more Robert here. Very special.
Oh, Astro Zombie, your mom and dog wieners.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That is my favorite Ted V. Michaels film.
That I did. I
mean, it has to be.
That was such a pre-pod. We were going over the names. We are like, oh man, there
Yep.
it is. You nailed it. Patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast. Check it over there. All the support you guys offer us. Thank you so much.
Oh,
for
thank
not
you.
Absolutely.
do it without you all. Discord event coming up the 26th of April. I'm going to check my calendar here
right.
because I'm pretty sure it
Yeah,
is
it's Friday.
26th.
Not this coming Friday. Next Friday.
Yes, this would be.
But when this comes out, it will be
that Friday the 26th. Yes, beers with the boys in the Discord server. Be sure to jump on, check that out. Good times there. As Robert mentioned, that we had not done a Q&A, but in fact we did, and we're doing one again. So that's pretty much what it is. Come
I
hang out
forget
with
things,
us.
but I can't wait to do it a second time because it's
It'll
going
be
to
good.
feel like the first for me.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. Check it out there. We got the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks and the socials and the medias happening out there on the internet. DM, hang out, come say hi to us on the internet. We're there. I answer DMs. We hang out. There's a Facebook group. There's a Facebook page. There's on Instagram, actually, I recently started a broadcast channel where I sent posts directly to your inbox, which is kind of cool. So check it out there. We got the merch at the TeePublic in the Heller space. We got the crowd made, which is at cryptonautmerch.com. We got all kinds of fun stuff happening there. And Robert, you made an appearance recently
I sure as shit
on
did.
a podcast here. Now we're recording this on the 15th. It will be out in April. We're not sure
I think
when in April.
Because all right, so first off, it's a phenomenal podcast. It's really fun, and it has a great corresponding video show with puppets. Perfectly designed cryptid puppets, hilarious adult-oriented humor. I fucking love it. And this podcast is a spinoff. It is the Creepy Acres Presents This Week in Creepy History, the podcast.
Okay.
And the hosts are, one of our dear old friends, Laura Cram.
Oh, what up, Laura?
And Sam Squatch.
Okay.
It's obviously a puppet,
Yeah,
but it's
I've seen
fucking
it,
a phenomenal
cool.
character. And it's a really great show, and it's really fun. And what they do is they take specific paranormal, ufological, cryptozoological events and then celebrate it. So while we don't know for sure, I know that the Enfield horror frenzy basically kicked off on April 25th, 1973. So they tend to do their pods. I know it's coming out in April on the corresponding date. So I'm thinking around the 25th.
Okay, cool.
So check it out. First off, check out the podcast. It's great. They have guests on. They've done things from like Loveland Frogmen to Mothman, of course, Van Meter Visitor, Crawfordsville Monster, the thing with one eye and many baby wings that tormented the families of the Crawfordsville, the Midwest, I was going to say, in the 1890s. Awesome. So they have tons of cool stuff. They're hilarious. They really do really interesting stuff. It was super fun. I had a really good time on there. So I'm sure you'll enjoy others, and I hope you enjoy. I got to do the Enfield horror.
No, perfect.
So I think I already let that out of the bag, but I'm super stoked about that.
Awesome.
They asked, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's my jam.
Yeah,
that's my baby. That's my 3-legged baby with the little T-Rex arm."
Yeah.
Nice.
So I highly recommend checking out the pod. I definitely recommend checking out the videos, and coming up, and probably not long after this comes out. This week in Creepy History, Creepy Acres presents This Week in Creepy History, the podcast. Check it out. I'll be on the Enfield horror one.
Awesome. All right. Well, there it is. Also, too, we want to give a shout out to a buddy of ours here from the Instagrams, Mr. Sam J. Royal. He sent us an awesome package of all kinds of art stuff.
So cool. Those books are the artwork is fucking amazing.
It's so dope, dude. It's super cool here. And you can check him out. He is at etsy.com/shop/Sam J. Royal. I follow him on Instagram. If you just look up Sam J. Royal, he's there on the gram doing it. So, check it out. Super awesome stuff. He's wicked package. Awesome business card, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Shit. I kind of
and great note, and with a cool like bat monster illustration, which I love. Pen and ink.
Dope. It was super cool.
Great shading. Like, he's a great artist, obviously, very talented, and really, really sweet lettered. Thank you for that, man. It was fucking awesome and a real treat.
It was awesome. So yeah, there it is. Thank you all so very much. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Peace out.
Yeah. Love y'all.
Make sure your demon is a demon and not a Bigfoot, and then claim it's a Bigfoot, and then say it's a demon because it's a Bigfoot, and then you sage it, even though it's a fucking demon, and you say it's a Bigfoot.
It's true.
Oh, Chris is exasperated.
I'll tell you one thing. If your dick ain't tickled, it ain't an imp.
That's one to grow on, folks.
I'm still thinking about. I gotta think about that one. I don't know, man.
The science still needs to be tested in the lab.
All right, so it's a hypothesis.
Yeah, it's a hypothesis.
All right, well, we're gonna put that. We're gonna use the fucking scientific method there, dog.
Oh, absolutely.
There it is. Perfect.
Come at me.
All right.
Come at me,
Good
imp.
luck.
Bye, fuckers.
Bye.